Hello my disciples, Father Andrew here. Sorry if my voice sounds off, I have a cold while I'm recording this. But before we actually get into this, I want to declare two things. First being, this video is entirely unscripted. Second being, I'm pretty much being forced to make this video because my previous video on why Scarletism opposes eating bugs appears to have got my YouTube channel downranked for some reason. So in summary, I'm basically being forced to make this video while sick to save my channel's performance. Why opposing eating bugs got my channel downranked, I'm not sure, but anyway, now to actually get into the topic of the video. Starting with one of the first other species of grindworm, we have the tunneler worm, which is a carrion feeder, i.e. it feeds on corpses, and basically carcasses. They have a lifespan of about 7 years, and they become mature at 1 year old. This species reproduces in a very simple manner. During the summer, they mate multiple times with as many others as possible and give birth to small live babies, which can already survive on their own. Next up, we have the sand grindworm, which is a species of grindworm that instead of living in rocky sand, prefers to live in mostly sand environments with very few rocks. Not really much to say about these ones, they're pretty much the same as regular grindworms, albeit they are a species native to a different biome. That and they have a different type of shell pattern and different coloration. Moving on to these big doofuses here. This is a plains grindworm. Unlike regular ones, it has two small black eyes that really don't see, they just kind of pick up light and dark. And it has a great big filter mouth thing at the front, kind of like a basking shark. Its diet consists mainly of small bugs, plant roots, seeds, grass, and whatever bits of nutrients it can pick up from the soil it moves through. This species is completely passive and prefers to avoid contact. Moving on to the next species, we have the pillar tree grindworm, which as the name suggests, lives inside pillar trees. This species is highly aggressive and territorial, and its diet consists of only 3 things: tree sap, any bugs living inside the tree, and the softer wood under the bark. This species uses its specialised 8-pointed drill head to bore into the wood in the same way as a drill piece would. You know, one of those flat drill pieces that has the spike on the front, used for drilling holes into pieces of wood. Moving on to the next species, we have the gliding grindworm, which is one of the few species to have actual fully formed eyes. It also evolved from the same ancestor as the pillar tree grindworm, except this species evolved membranous wings allowing it to actually glide, and a system of nozzles on the head that use a bombardier beetle-like reaction system with chemicals to act as jets to propel it through the air. A notable difference between this species and other grindworms is that it is not subterranean at all and spends the majority of its life in the air or clinging to pillar trees. The diet of this species is sap from the trees it lives on, or the blood of prey that it swoops down and kills, along with whatever mangled flesh gets pulled into its maw when it starts rotating its beak. And moving on to the last species on this list, we have the aquatic tropical grindworm, which primarily feeds on coral, using its sharp teeth to smash and break coral apart, but is also an opportunistic predator. It's also worth noting that much like a flounder, it spends the majority of its time on its side on the bottom of the water. But if it's chasing prey, it will flick itself upwards and it will use both pairs of eyes on both sides of its head to lock onto prey and pursue them with extreme accuracy. Its preferred prey being small fish, the tropical beach pebblefish being one of its favourite. And actually moving on to the next one, this is the actual last one, I made a slight mistake. We have the stony grindworm, which is a subtype of the regular grindworm. This species has several key differences from regular grindworms. It prefers to live in rocky, gravel-filled environments, has long spikes across its body that it assists in shifting through gravel and dirt, and they are also used to sense vibrations, and the head has also evolved 8 long slits designed to slice the prey into actual slabs of meat, as opposed to grinding them up into small pieces like regular grindworms. And this species in particular is incredibly aggressive and will even attack other species of grindworm over territory. And yes, it also has the ability to launch its own projectile shit like regular grindworms can. And with that, those are just a few of the other species of grindworm that exist on the Trelunga homeworld. I wanted to talk about some of the other species that exist, but unfortunately I haven't had the time to model them or get any of the lore written down, mainly because I'm still recovering from this cold, and because I don't actually have the time, so I've had to force this video out in one day. But yeah, that's it. See you in the next video. We have a Discord if you're interested in this kind of stuff, link in the description. See you around.